Why El Niño is locking in shockingly fast, and why this week is different Wednesday. Atmospheric energy levels, what meteorologists call CAPE, are expected to rocket up to 2,000 joules per kilogram across Louisiana, Mississippi, and Alabama. That's not just a number worth glancing at. That's the threshold where weather professionals put down their coffee and start paying very close attention. To find anything remotely comparable, you'd have to rewind nearly 3 decades, all the way back to 1997. Meanwhile, somewhere out on the open land of central North Dakota, a rancher named Frank is squinting at walls of smoke creeping across the horizon. Frank doesn't need a computer model or a weather app to decode what 25% humidity and 45 mph of northwest gusts feel like against his face. His bones already know. Stick around, because at the 7-minute mark, I'm going to walk you through the Mother's Day weekend severe weather setup. And trust me, you'll want to see it. And if you make it all the way to the end, there's some genuinely encouraging news about drought recovery. Real, honest, good news. Not a feel-good spin to cushion a bad forecast. My job isn't to ruin your Monday. My job is to make sure you know what's heading your way before it actually gets there. And this week, that heads-up window matters more than it has in a long time. Let's be straight. From the top, Wednesday's setup still has some loose ends. The weather models aren't singing in perfect harmony just yet, and I'm not going to pretend otherwise. But what we do know right now, with solid, high confidence, is more than enough to make sure the right people are informed, prepared, and in the right place when things start moving. Monday, May 4th, 2026, 2 completely different weather stories. Today, we're not dealing with one weather situation. We're dealing with 2 completely separate ones playing out across very different parts of the country at the same time. Story 1. Critical fire weather conditions are in full effect right now across western and central North Dakota. That includes Bismarck, Minot, and Williston. And it doesn't stop there. Illinois and Missouri, you're also under special weather statements for critical fire weather today, covering the Springfield and Peoria areas. The reason this particular combination is worth noting is simple. 25% humidity paired with 20 mph northwest winds is the exact same dangerous recipe that's brewing up in the plains. Northern Michigan, Traverse City, Gaylord, Alpena. You've also got a special weather statement in place. Story 2. The Storm Prediction Center has flagged a marginal risk zone covering eastern Kansas, Missouri, Illinois, Indiana, western Ohio, and southern Michigan. That puts cities like Kansas City, St. Louis, Chicago, Indianapolis, Columbus, and Milwaukee all in play for isolated gusty winds and scattered thunderstorms firing up by late afternoon. Keep your weather apps open and your alerts turned on through the afternoon hours. Now here's the part that trips people up. The reason fire weather and severe weather are happening simultaneously and completely different regions comes down to the same atmospheric culprit, a strong northwest flow pushing dry air across the landscape. The tornado threat today? Low to near zero. Today is a wind and hail day. Stay alert. Back to Frank for a moment. Frank's situation isn't unique. Thousands of ranchers and farmers scattered across the northern plains are dealing with the same conditions right now. He told his neighbor this morning that it feels worse outside than anything he can remember. This early in May since 2012, Frank is not panicking. That's not who he is. But he's also not lighting a single thing on fire today. No equipment left running unattended. No shortcuts, not one. When you've spent 38 years working the land, you learn to respect weather like this without needing a meteorologist to spell it out for you. Why? This week's severe weather is a different animal. What we're stepping into this week is something meteorologists call a negative. Now, a shift in the upper-level atmosphere that fundamentally changes how storm systems behave. Think of the jet stream as a massive highway for weather systems. When that highway runs straight and fast, storms zoom through and move on quickly. But this week, that highway is taking a long, looping detour. A low-pressure system sliding off the Pacific coast of California is going to fire up a subtropical jet stream, essentially a fire hose of warm, moist Gulf air aimed directly at the southern United States. Compare that to the severe weather that hammered the region in late April. That was driven by a strong upper-level low parked over Canada. Cold, unfavorable air that actually put a lid on how organized those storms could get. This week removes that lid. Here's a simple way to picture the negative NAO setup. Imagine a cold air mass up in Canada as a coiled, compressed spring. All that stored energy is looking for somewhere to go, and this week, it's finding a path south, the number that keeps stopping me. Colds and joules per kilogram. That figure, surface-based instability. At that level, combined with the wind shear profiles, the models are currently showing means that any supercell that manages to get itself organized has real room to grow into something serious. The severe weather community has been having some quiet, pointed conversations about Wednesday. I'm not dropping city names just yet. Let's walk through the setup first. Tuesday overnight, dew points are sitting in the upper 50s to low 60s, and the cap over North Texas is the critical wild card. It could hold storms back or it could crack open. Memphis and Nashville, you're in Tuesday's overnight picture as storms track northeast through Arkansas and into the Tennessee Valley, bringing the potential for damaging winds. Wednesday, May 7th, this is the day. The severe weather focus shifts south and east. The main threat zone centers across East Texas, Waco, Houston, Louisiana, including Shreveport, and extends into Mississippi, Alabama, and the Gulf Coast states. Birmingham, Tuscaloosa, Jackson, Gulfport, Meridian. You're all in Wednesday's crosshairs. Two scenarios are on the table. Scenario 1, the more serious of the two, involves discrete supercell mode across Mississippi, Alabama, and Louisiana. Picture a spinning top at full speed. That's what a well-organized supercell looks like on radar, and it's the scenario that keeps forecasters leaning forward in their chairs. Scenario 2, which current model guidance leans toward, involves a squall line or clustered storm mode, where the tornado threat drops somewhat, but damaging winds and large hail remain very much on the table. Here's the honest bottom line for Wednesday. Whether we end up with supercells or a squall line, the Gulf Coast states from Texas through Alabama are in a legitimate, serious, severe weather zone. Get your shelter plan locked down before Tuesday night. Know your safe room. Know where the kids will be. Have a weather alert active on your phone. That's the whole ball game. Everything else is secondary to those three things. There's a reason the storm, Prediction Center and local national Weather Service offices are already having internal conversations about Wednesday. Pay attention to that signal. Thursday and beyond. By Thursday, May 7th or 8th, the threat shifts east toward the Carolinas and Virginia, with some leftover instability draped across the Florida Panhandle. Thursday brings mainly a straight-line wind threat and large hail, lower tornado potential than Wednesday, but still worth watching. And there's a welcome silver lining for Thursday, beneficial rainfall pushing across Georgia and the Carolinas. Flooding is also worth a mention, alongside the severe weather for Tuesday and Wednesday. Rainfall totals of 1 to 2 inches are expected across the Tennessee Valley and the Carolina coast. Not catastrophic on its own, but combined with already saturated or drought-stressed soil, it adds up. A word directly to mobile home residents. If you live in a mobile home anywhere across the Deep South, East Texas, or the Tennessee Valley, please hear this clearly. A mobile home is not a safe place to be during severe thunderstorm conditions. Full stop, no exceptions. Identify your off-site shelter today, right now, before you do anything else. The connection most people are missing. Here's something that isn't getting enough attention. The fire weather story and the severe weather story this week are not separate events. They're two different expressions of the same atmospheric pattern. The identical northwest flow that's creating bone-dry, fire-prone conditions across the Dakotas and northern plains is simultaneously funneling cold air southward, where it's colliding with that warm Gulf moisture and setting the stage for explosive storm development. Same driver, two very different outcomes depending on where you live.